States of America, republic for which it stands, God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So we got the consent agenda there. Does anybody have any questions?
I'm honestly not sure when these auditors start their normal field work because I personally have had auditors start field work in April. So but June sounds reasonable.
Why did you choose them?
Like, hold us accountable, which is good. That's what you want from an auditor. But they're good to work with, and we felt like with the transition of a new finance officer,
Often, how many years do we use them? Best practice there.
they'll do you ask. Some folks would say every 3 years. Some challenges that we see in the auditing industry. That it is really hard to find not enough people to do it right now. That's something that the state is grappling with and trying to figure out. The state LGC is what do we do because there's just a shortage of public accountancy focus on this kind of audit. So, given this time in our society, I'd be hesitant. Off the cuff, I'd be hesitant to switch. Trying to find someone to kind of work on our financial statements a few months ago, trying to clean up our book. We just found a hard time finding anybody in North Carolina. In fact, the firm that we had to use passed state. So we just had. I understand the concept of wanting to change and that kind of thing. Sorry, that might be more of an answer than you're looking for.
The way that I think we should.
First, we wanted to kind of start a practice for transparency purposes of reporting our internal budget transfers. It's a common practice, so we wanted to kind of start doing that. You can see lots of smaller things that we handle administratively, but just kind of wanted to share that with y'all as a report. If you have any questions, please let us know. Also, in talking with Ms. Stallings as well as Mayor Pro Tem Scholl, got some really good reports from the farmers markets. 2 weeks ago, we got washed out with the big rain, but this time around we had good weather, and we're off to a really good start. So,
Crowd through the morning. I was there for about an hour or so. Real excited to be there and had already had good sales.
Yeah, agenda approval, we need to go add, 3A, we need to go into closed session. You too fast.
so there's several things. We'd ask to add that on there.
All right, let's make that 8A. No, I was thinking, I didn't know Brandon was gonna be here, now we got. The second closed session is, reviewing Alex's, performance review. Y'all wanna wait till Brad and, Taylor Ray are here, or you feel like we have enough here to include that? That's up to y'all.
Happy to do it.
Oh, sure, are you saying carry home?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
We'll take it off the agenda then. Eight, and then make 8A, Laura's discussion on the, building code legislation that came out for the week. Staff is, giving us a, handout on that. And I think that's it. Anybody else have anything they wanna add or delete? Well, that'll be 8. And then 8A will be the building code legislation discussion. And then, 3A, Stephen, will be, we're gonna go into closed session for MCL 143 -318.11.A.3. Community development block grant program. That's coming from the county. All right.
Move approval agenda with the addition of 3A, move closed session pursuant to 143-318.11A3. Additionally, replacing current number 8, closed session with the CBDG discussion, as well as addition of 8A for discussion.
Favor?
Aye.
Sammy? Can I get, motion to go into, closed session? 143-318.11A3.
Go into closed session pursuant to 143-3 and with
Show, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, since we got a crowd.
This is just one instance, that's okay.
Where's my stain? Where's my stain?
We can pin it back to the back. Oh, yeah. Oh, that works out pretty good. Yeah, I mean, it's like, we're done. You're sure. Oh, that's nice.
like streaky. Oh, so he's you know what I mean? You're just like. That was my favorite. I was like, hey, I respect that. Find me in three.
Play if you get a chance to play. Charlotte, I don't play, but he plays. But Charlotte's one of the best courses.
Oh, yeah, I need to go to this
I that
Oh, my.
that was
one. That's
where
my caliber.
that's I went to high school at
Fun.
what's it called? The par three up here.
Yeah, I can't.
One of my buddies hit somebody in the head. It hit a tree and it bounced into this guy's head. That was fun.
I probably need to play that for about 2 months.
It used to flood like all the
It
time.
still does.
It doesn't.
It still does. I've driven past it.
Somebody invites you to play at Charlotte.
I think it might be a little over my.
Maybe. These guys invited me out to play at a course that was way out of mine.
When I was playing, I was moving down to Alabama, played some PGA course.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is gonna be awesome. So hard. Yeah, exactly. Now they did pick me up at my car in a golf cart.
It was nice.
Took me to the driving
Oh.
range. It was worth it, but yeah.
Yeah.
The ball doesn't stop.
We had a high high school soccer game at NC State in the tournament. I was like, I've never seen grass like this in my life. It was like the prettiest grass ever.
Yeah.
Pizza,
Did you eat pizza?
I freak out, he's like,
Duck pizza.
I'm sorry.
That's what you call it.
I'd just be crying. You're like, oh, what's
That was great.
Don't look at
He's like, just get background. How long did it take to get back from? I don't think we CC. 5 hours later, I'm not paying
Oh, okay.
Dallas.
Weird.
For a ride,
Alright,
we didn't
that's
pay
fine.
any Uber fees on it.
Okay.
It was, but it still, it wasn't,
I know,
still.
exactly, yeah.
What is Uber?
I did not say that about the house. I thought we would use that. But this event's like 10 to 1. So I can't imagine it.
Put a real amount of them out, man.
Yeah, yeah. Because I'll think, because we have 3 of them.
The roommate.
Oh,
Would
1 week?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was just like 2 years. Kevin,
No,
okay.
no, no.
Kevin, yeah. Yeah, that's fine. I thought it was like, oh my
Weather
gosh, oh
permitting.
no.
But yeah,
Yeah, any of those that house on the back. Yeah, then you said, you meant like 2 years. So I appreciate it. Just call me out. Okay.
Is it recorded?
No, it's-
motion to go back into. All in favor? Aye. Ayes have it. All right. Text amendment 24.03.01, continuation from 422.
Yes, hello, council. Thank you for having me. One second, let me pull it up. Okay, so this is text amendment TX 240301. It is a continuation. The Pouch Factory submitted a text amendment request for production of novel oral nicotine delivery products as a listed use in Article 8, Table of Uses in the Industrial Zoning District. This was the original submittal language. Staff recommends approval of the text amendment. Staff sees the potential to increase economic development opportunities within the town, and this text amendment supports the economic development plan. It's also consistent with the future land use plan for industrial zoning, which supports manufacturing. But the staff also recommends amending the use table request item from the previous wording to the new wording to say non-tobacco nicotine, so NTN, and stimulant delivery and production. This word helps keep tobacco out of the production based on what council requested or discussed at the last meeting, and still keeps the production and delivery of this use and allows other stimulants like caffeine. So nicotine regulations, so FDA regulates tobacco use and NTN uses. Local governments do not. Manufacturers must comply with the FDA. The town enforces local ordinances while the FDA regulates the NTN manufacturing. And the is registered with the FDA and is subject to the regulations for NTN. And before I get to the vote and the statement of consistency, the applicant is here. And just want to let you know if you had any questions. I'm here as well. So. Yeah, so that was in my previous staff report. I didn't include it in this staff report, but the applicant can mention how many jobs they're going to hire. But adding a new business does support the economic development plan because they will be adding jobs. But I, at the top of my head, I can't remember how many jobs. I will let the applicant answer that. I would let the applicant answer that. I don't believe so. It would be just for manufacturing and production and delivery. Yeah, so the future land use plan for industrial just generally says manufacturing is a supported use. So this use I'm considering manufacturing, and I believe that's consistent. So the vision from the 2016 or 2017 future land use plan just identifies manufacturing as one of the listed uses for the future in industrial. If I know I kind of went in a circle. Hopefully that answers your question. Yeah.
Yes. Good evening. How are you all doing? I'm John Snyder. I'm the government relations consultant for the Pouch Factory, and this is my second time being here. So I think I'm ready for questions tonight. The first one is the number of jobs right now we're projecting to be 10 plus, and those jobs will be either in the production side or the operation side and within the office. There will be no sales or direct to consumer out of the location here, and so it will be kind of minimal impact. The location that we are seeking to use for the manufacturing supports the number of cars that would be consistent with shifts, and it's Gribble Road, so very little. Yeah, it's ready to go for manufacturing and kind of the shift work that it'll be. The machinery that'll be in is highly complex machinery that's, you know, kind of, the cheapest machine's about $250,000 and on up for the production. And I'm able to answer any other questions. Novel means just, it's the original idea, that's the classification because it was a new type of, to the old way of cigarettes or cigars or plugs. So novel was the original like classification. Through working with staff, it was very clear to come up with this amended, the recommendation that Max has put forward for tonight as the text amendment. We think it's great. It captures everything, but novel, yeah.
Just so you can see what.
Okay, yeah. So non-tobacco nicotine or an NTN captures exactly what it is, but novel was referring to, you know, that it's different than other products. Once we get where machines are on their way here, and once we get up and running, we've got, we've got to get approved, and then we'll get everything set up. So the goal is to be running by July. The machines are manufactured in Europe and India, because kind of the nature and the unique products that they make. Yeah. Yes, sir.
You mentioned the nicotine.
It is,
Is it?
it is naturally produced and in a lab setting to control, you know, and it's organic. The products we're selling will be organic certified. So the product that it's coming from was certified organic, and then it'll be delivered here. Some of the council members last time raised concern about, are we going to be, everything for composition will be made somewhere else and put together here. So there won't be any runoff or any kind of environmental concerns.
So the very simplistic process is you're gonna have.
Yep, in the little containers, and then, yep. Correct. That's, for right now, that's where our orders are from. There's a long process we have to go through for compliance, so we're not rushing to the US market yet. There's a worldwide demand for the quality control that the US require. Yeah, US products are better. And so South America is really interested in American-made products because it's a gold standard in quality that you don't get from. No, this is a new this is a new business for us. We are looking to take on some very large competition, but I think we've got the right team put together to be successful. That was my idea. Yeah, so I used to live here. I used to be the Board of Adjustment attorney many brown hair ago for Stallings. Yes, sir. Melanie and I used to know each other before there were even children. And actually, Aaron and I knew each other before then, and David, all before I had kids. Yeah, and I now have a bunch. But yeah, no, this is my home. I'm passionate about bringing. I'm passionate about North Carolina. 1, 2. I love this town. I love this area. It's where I got my start, and so I know, you know, kind of the fits and starts that we've had in this whole area, and so. High-end production that is manufacturing, that provides well-paying jobs so that the people that work somewhere can actually afford the houses that are nearby is kind of an ideal situation. So my clients were originally looking at a different, originally they were looking at importing to the US, and I was like, let's manufacture here and send out. We were looking at some other locations in the state, but I felt like this Stallings specifically, is a great place for people to come work and live, because, you know, the further east you go, the harder it is to retain high-end labor, or, you know, that's attractive to young people to come into the area. So, I'm bought into the town.
You have some other folks here?
Well, these are the two owners. They're not gonna speak, but, and then,
Can you introduce them?
yeah. This is Ludwig,
Hi, nice to meet you.
Michael,
And I'm Mike.
and,
This is my girlfriend Laura.
yeah.
Ludwig, you're the president?
Yep.
And he's from Sweden originally.
You're the head of production?
Yes. Yeah.
So they've moved down here from, New England and New York to get in and get this thing up and running.
Oh, we all be working?
Yeah.
They're founders, yeah. They're trying to find a place to live still. They're renting right now, so. I don't know what else is on the agenda tonight, but maybe some nice, maybe some nice affordable. No, I talked to him about why this area is such a, North Carolina's trying to get us down to zero corporate income tax. The guys in Raleigh are, and then you can't, I don't think you could, I can't think of a better place to live than right around here, because you've got everything in the world, and it's a nice place to raise a family, so. Our first house was in Chestnut Oaks, so I'm the south side of Stallings.
All right, any other questions?
What will be the hours a day?
Yeah, we'll probably go in shifts, just because the demand is really good. So we'll be, right now it's probably 2 shifts, and then eventually we'll go to a 3rd shift. 8 hours, yeah. At least 10. And they'll be, excuse me, 10 total over the 3 shifts, yeah. The machines are pretty complex. Automation is our friend. I keep bumping it. Thank you. Thank you very much. Awesome. And we will come by and make sure to introduce, we'll have you guys out to the factory once we're up and running to see what it looks like. So, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matt.
I mean, New York mayor just went to Italy
Yeah, we can send you to Sweden, yeah.
Thank you. Don't forget about the statement.
Evening. Evening, Council. I'm here tonight to seek approval for our pavement preservation contract. And this is in accordance with our resurfacing program and our approved budget for our resurfacing program, our goal is to spend some money on preventative maintenance to prolong the lives of these roadway segments, certain roadway segments, to ultimately save money in the long run, because it's much cheaper. It's 4 to 5 times cheaper to implement this preventative maintenance, prolong the life of the road, before you need to get to the reconstructive aspects, where that's the milling and the paving aspects of resurfacing. And that's exactly what this pavement preservation contract seeks to do. It will implement preventative maintenance measures, being crack sealing and what's called microsurfacing. And that microsurfacing, it's about a 1/4 inch thick of liquefied emulsified asphalt that is laid over top of existing roadway segments. And what it does is it acts like a chemical binder to bind the existing aggregate back together, while also simultaneously acting as a seal, preventing from any water breaking down into the asphalt layer and into the subsurface, where ultimately where we see the biggest causes for roadway failures, from just general weathering and then water entering into asphalt layers in the subsurface. And so with that, I know it's a fairly new type of roadway maintenance that we haven't seen before. So as a part of this contract, Slurry Pavers is who, we went through the formal bidding process, and Slurry Pavers was the sole bidder. And as a part of this contract, we'd like them to come in and kind of have an educational session with council. And also, I'd like to invite some of the communities that will be affected by this scope of works to really just open it up for a Q&A session, let Slurry Pavers really walk in or talk in detail about the scope of work, kind of how traffic control is gonna work, and then allow really just a Q&A session, since this is something new that hasn't been implemented too often in the area. And so with that, again, just seeking council authorization to authorize the town manager to execute a contract with Slurry Pavers for the amount of $334,220.40. I know of him, I haven't had much contact with him. Yep. This is about 3.75 miles. Yep. They're a company out of Virginia. That's where they're originated. They're starting to expand into the Carolinas because the market here is just really blowing up. They just signed a big contract with NCDOT. They do a lot of work in Raleigh, Durham. They've done some work for them as well. So they're not local yet, but their goal is to open up a headquarters down here in the Carolinas.
I move.
Motion by Grant, second by David.
Thank you. Still up, yep, in conjunction with Parks and Rec as well.
Woohoo! Ta-da, magic trick, yeah. More on the side, I think Kevin's gonna steer it. but
Yeah, I'm gonna run point on this, but Eunice is
Yeah.
here for moral support.
Yeah, Parks has a little piece of it.
And so before I jump into these items, I kind of want to speak to 6A and 6B because that might cause some potential confusion in that they're two separate items, but the topics of conversation are very similar. So my thought process was, let's just kind of put them in as, encompass them all as one agenda item. However, the action item from A does not affect anything with B. So they're two separate items, but similar in topic. So just want to make sure that makes sense before I dive in and cause any confusion there. 6A and 6B.
Oh, up there, oh, I'm sorry, I thought you
And so, speaking to 6A, the landscaping contracts, and, well, where I'll start this conversation is just speaking policy. And our local bidding policy is a little more strict than the state statutes in that for any service contracts over $100,000, our town bidding policy states that we have to pursue the formal bidding process. Whereas the state requirement for any service contracts, there is no requirement for any bidding process, whether informal or formal. So as a piece of this agenda item, staff is going to request council to waive our local bidding policy so we can approve a contract with Smith Grounds Management for 3-year contracts with Smith Grounds Management for Public Works and Parks and Recreation. And the reason we're asking that is because we've previously, in recent years, we've bid out these landscaping services, and Smith was the sole bidder on that. Additionally, their quality of work has been high and consistently high, so we're really happy with their work that they're doing for us and throughout town. And then as well, their prices have not increased like we've seen with other prices. They have been very consistently, incrementally increasing, if at all. That has not been consistent with inflation. So where we saw 11, 12% inflation, we saw with Smith 1 to 2% increases in contract prices. So all things considered there, that's the reason why we'd like to bypass our bidding policy and just go ahead and sign a 3-year contract with Smith. Just, we don't see much of a benefit in pursuing any bidding policy, or excuse me, any bidding process. And so with that, again, we're requesting one, waive our local bidding policy, and then authorize town manager to execute a contract with Smith Landscaping for 2 3-year contracts, one for Public Works and one for Parks and Rec. Correct. We have this budgeted next year, and then obviously, now that we have the prices for the next 3 years, we can budget accordingly.
There's no doubt Smith's one of the best.
No, I don't, no. In short, no. I just think Smith's work and their prices speak for themselves, so, and we're still in compliance with state statutes. This would just be something that our local policy would dictate, so. Again, I think Smith has earned this contract, given their scope of work, their prices. Yep, I'm sorry about that. So ultimately, for 6A here, we're just requesting approval to execute a contract with Smith Grounds Landscaping for for 3 years for a public works contract and a parks and recreation contract. Yeah, B on the agenda is separate. We just have two contracts. We're split, Eunice and I were splitting up a public works contract that works with the grounds here, and Eunice's contract will be specific to parks, greenways, like that. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So that was all just for A. So there's an A1 and A2, and that was just approval of A1 and A2, then segue now into 6B, which is just discussion of our local bidding policy. And so I might have to rely on Alex and Aaron for some of the history on our bidding policy and how it came to be. But staff feels it's just a little bit antiquated, especially with the significant rise in prices that we've seen. And with that, it causes some delays in the need to abide by our local bidding policy, go through the formal bidding policy when maybe just informal is required by the state. Causes some delays and some inefficiencies when it comes to getting projects done. And so I really just wanted to open that up for discussion and get a temperature check from council about potentially amending our local bidding policy to reflect the state's cost thresholds for informal versus formal bidding for certain construction and repair contracts, services contracts, purchase contracts, et cetera. And I can kind of show the difference. This will let me. This was not in the packet, and I apologize. I was. Mm-hmm. Sure. Okay. Sure. I can bring that back next time. Absolutely.
Good job.
Well, and I'm sorry. Well, I was just gonna say, I think the safety net there is that anything over $20,000 must be approved by council anyway. So we do, if say we bring something to you and we didn't go through a bidding process or it doesn't pass the smell test for whatever reason, you have the ability to say, no, let's go a different route. Let's pump the brakes and try a different approach. So that's not something that we are proposing to change. We just want to make the informal versus formal cost thresholds match up with the states. No, thank you.
Copy for council. personal one. It's not just me. I'm not proposing anything on the weekends.
I'm for it. I would just ask for one caveat that during election period, August to November.
But now is the perfect time.
Or and using resources, right?
Or you can, you just have to advertise. That should be a quorum. You can't have four. I was trying to put it together.
Okay.
anticipate. Life and eligible for grant funds as perhaps some other places, so. There potentially could be, I think it goes to, the majority have to be below the income threshold in a given area. So if you did perhaps a smaller project, maybe an urban area, might qualify. You just have to explore that. That's the only area that pops in mind is within those income thresholds. But if we think of something, over this, next 3-year period, we'll, we can work with the county and identify a bunch of wins that we think out there. Really, the funding for a lot of the items has been more on the eastern side of the county than the western side. That's it in a nutshell. I don't want to represent myself as a CDBG expert because I'm not, but we definitely did some more sewer grants and waste work.
Well, just, Dave, one of the projects we do, qualify for grant from Walmart,
Yeah.
with weatherization, including small amenities, and weatherized low-income houses.
Yeah.
You can help with that. You know, maybe that, that should streamline.
You can also do, sidewalks and, moving, lighting and curbing and, maybe tree, near sidewalk area.
Yeah, absolutely. Another one that just popped in mind too that I think might qualify, Kevin put this on your radar, was the stormwater project. If you have an area that, you look at and you're like, okay, this might be a lower income area for a stormwater project, you might be able to qualify for that, so.
So you said that we could, if we identified something, it would be in a different town, that we would tell the county,
No, I think for us, we would be identifying it in the town of Stallings.
So is it,
But I think my understanding is they get a higher priority, if I'm using that word right, and they get a higher chance of achieving grants for everyone, the more people that join into their consortium.
so if I can remember correctly, it depends on, the population of that certain, income. It also, can't be like one block, it has to be a little bit higher than that.
That's Cinderella all that too. Might make it a little bit harder, right? But,
Yeah.
we can check it out for sure, especially in areas, Spring Lake, River area, we can take a look.
All righty, the county, looks, we need a, on preliminary cooperative agreement with the Union Planning Community Development Block Grant Program for fiscal years 2025 through 2026.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Shaw, second
developer, not, not initially reviewed within the 15 days, and now it's 20, then they get, part of their application fee. I don't know what initially reviewed, nothing, like I might say, okay, not a time limit. Yeah, okay, I initially section that talks about subdivision, that CO, building permit, maybe house didn't get its landscaping. Well, then everybody's gonna have no safety issue, but it's go and go by the house. Control, but anyway.
Had a chance to talk to
I will,
go
yeah.
through with him.
A lot of times, right, developers may have
Hours before. Process is that
well, Max has already got 26 in front of him.
You just fall asleep.
Nobody helped us do it.
Oh, sorry, oh,
But if y'all are open to that, I'd be happy to kind of send us contacts. I'm not trying to push y'all to do it.
no, I will definitely do it.
inspections for improvements.
What is the specific
Right to,
Yeah, I should want to.
It's a performance guarantee.
good. One of those bullet points. Which section is it again, Gary?
Section 1.12.
That'd be my biggest concern, because the way I read that is that our engineers go out there and they say, no, this is not all the intricacies, not accusing any engineer,
I guess my concern is also the 30 days.
That typically, I don't know what the current timeline is now. I will say that we're typically pretty responsive when somebody says, we constructed this, we'll go out and inspect it, and then we'll typically ask I know it's probably more information than you're asking for, but then we'll say, give us any third-party reports supporting that we can't be out there all the time, just make sure we're getting the amount of fill necessary to meet, for instance, a roadway subsurface. So we'll say, give us third-party inspection reports from geotechs saying that everything was installed per standard. So we're usually out there within a week so I'm not too concerned about the 30 days. I just mimic Alex's concerns about the subjectivity that somebody signing off on.
Yeah, there's a lot of. Building, subdivision.
Oh, sorry.
That would have